You just received bad news, a critique, a cancellation, a setback, and suddenly your chest tightens, your thoughts scatter, and the rest of the day falls into slow, sticky resistance. That immediate fog is not moral weakness. It's a predictable biological cascade. Surprise triggers high arousal, which narrows attention and hijacks the brain's ability to plan. If you want to recover clarity fast and move from reactivity back to productive agency, you need a short, repeatable ritual that changes both body and meaning. This video teaches one ritual you can run in 75 seconds that I call B.R.I.D.G.E. Breathe, reframe, inspect, draw, ground, execute. A compact neuroscience-friendly sequence that turns forced pause into a diagnostic restart and creates a tiny, reliable action that reboots momentum for the next 90-180 minutes. The whole thing is simple enough to do in a bathroom stall, at your desk, or in the car, and it's built around 3 principles. Interrupt arousal, convert emotion into information, and create a micro-commitment that leverages action inertia. Step 0. Why this is worth learning. When your nervous system spikes, the amygdala and midbrain circuits compete with the prefrontal cortex for control. Your inner critic grows louder, options shrink, and the most important work becomes the hardest. Rituals change the physics of choice. Short embodied patterns create prediction errors that reduce reactivity and give your prefrontal cortex a clean signal to evaluate. B.R.I.D.G.E is 2 kinds of intervention in 75 seconds: physiological, breath, posture, and cognitive, naming, reframing, tiny learning experiment. Step 1. Breathe, 0-20 seconds. The first 20 seconds are all about creating space. Do this exact breath pattern. Inhale for 4 counts, hold 2 counts, exhale for 8 counts, repeat once. While breathing, place one hand over your diaphragm and one on your sternum so you physically feel the belly expand and the chest soften. Keep your face neutral. Avoid commentary. Neuroscience behind it. A prolonged exhalation triggers vagal tone, downregulates sympathetic arousal, and makes prefrontal networks easier to access. The touch anchors attention and converts abstract panic into a sensory object you can attend to. Step 2. Reframe, 20-40 seconds. Immediately after the breath, say one short factual sentence out loud or quietly. This event triggered a response. I can treat it as data. Use the word response, not failure or disaster. Language matters. Affect labeling reduces amygdala activation, and the cognitive act of naming transforms feeling into a hypothesis. In one concise clause, name the top-level observable. The meeting cut short our timeline, or the client said no to this version. Do not editorialize. Step 3. Inspect, 40-55 seconds. Spend 15 seconds running a focused diagnostic. Ask 3 quick questions and answer them in one short phrase each. Q1. What exactly changed observable fact? Q2. What part can I control now? Q3. What would tell me in the next 24 hours whether this matters? Keep answers briefer than 1 breath each. The goal is to convert vague dread into concrete variables you can test or influence. For example, timeline reduced by 2 weeks. I can control the next prototype delivery. Sign-ups drop would be the signal. Step 4. Draw, 55-65 seconds. In 10 seconds, externalize the outcome. Write or type 1 line that captures your hypothesis and 1 tiny test. Use this template. Hypothesis, short cause, test, single microaction, measure 1 metric in time window. Example, hypothesis, subject line lowered curiosity. Test, send alt subject to 10% segment and measure opens in 6 hours. The act of drawing collapses cognitive load and moves information out of working memory into a visible artifact. Step 5. Ground, 65-70 seconds. Before acting, do 1 small grounding motion to reset intention. Stand up if seated. Press fingertips together for 4 seconds or take a slow shoulder roll. Say the anchor word ready quietly. This small embodied anchor binds the cognitive plan to a motor cue and signals your brain to shift from appraisal mode to action mode. Step 6. Execute, 70-75+ seconds. Immediately do 1 microaction that initiates the test. Press send to that 10% segment, open the prototype folder, set a 12-minute timer, and type the first headline. The microaction must be an observable, irreversible initiation, not another planning step. Set a short timer, 6, 12, or 25 minutes depending on context. Why microactions work. Initiation lowers activation energy and exploits the basal ganglia's preference for sequences. Once you start, continuation is far easier than the start. Practice script to memorize. Breathe, 428 twice, hand on belly. Reframe. This triggered a response. I will treat it as data. Inspect. What changed? What I control? What would prove it matters? Draw. Hypothesis. Underscore 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 test. Underscore 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 measure. Underscore 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 ground ready. Execute. 12 minutes. Started. Rehearse the sequence 3 times in a calm moment so the motor and verbal cues become a single chunk of behavior. Then you can run it under stress without cognitive friction. 2 short experiments to prove it to yourself. Experiment A, resilience test, 7 days. Anytime you receive negative feedback, run B.R.I.D.G.E, log the hypothesis and microtest, and note whether you started the microaction within 5 minutes. Track the proportion of cases where you initiated versus froze. Expect a rapid shift. Within 3-5 days, initiation increases and subjective distress decreases. Experiment B, productivity ripple, 14 days. Perform B.R.I.D.G.E once daily for significant negative events and measure focused minutes in the following 2 hours. Most people report a consistent boost in usable work time because the ritual preserves prefrontal bandwidth. Variations for context and privacy. If you cannot speak the phrase aloud, meeting, public space, whisper or silently internalize the same short sentences and rely on a subtle tactile cue. Press thumb and index finger together. If you are physically constrained, on a bus, replace the posture change with a subtle neck roll. If your environment requires immediate group response, use the draw step to create a one-line shared message and send it. Quick update, timeline shift, testing Alt Plan A on 10% now. Will report in 6 hours. Troubleshooting common objections. It feels silly to say phrases aloud, whisper, or sub-vocalize. The multisensory signal is helpful but not mandatory. I don't have paper. Use a quick note on your phone or type a 2-word file name. I still ruminate afterward. Extend the breathe step to 3 breath cycles and lengthen the execute timer to 6 minutes to give the brain the satisfaction of motion. Why this changes the relationship with bad news long-term. B.R.I.D.G.E creates a conditioned response sequence. When negative events happen, your brain begins to expect a brief, effective ritual that both soothes and converts the event into information. Over time, the anticipatory dread associated with new negative signals reduces because your system knows a predictable, effective path exists. That reduces avoidance and increases learning velocity. Visual and editorial design advice for the video. Open with a close-up of a neutral face receiving an email, a tightened jaw, then a rapid supercut of the 75-second ritual. Breath animation, short text overlay for the reframe line, a tiny scribble appearing on a paper, a finger press, and a timer starting. Use a single accent color for the micro-action moment. Keep the voice calm, slightly lower than conversational, to model the de-escalation. Final challenge and call to action. For the next week, anytime you receive news that disrupts your plan, run the 75-second B.R.I.D.G.E ritual, perform the micro-test, and note whether you started within 5 minutes. At the end of the week, post 1 example in the comments. Your hypothesis, your micro-test, and what you learned. If you want a printable 1-page B.R.I.D.G.E cheat sheet with the exact phrasing and timings, like the video and subscribe, the PDF will be pinned in the first comment. Remember, bad news unprocessed becomes story, processed it becomes data. Use 75 seconds to convert emotional noise into focused learning and 1 tiny action that keeps your momentum intact.